Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, can you share bottomless apps?
Also, Elon Musk's lawyers just made the most insane claim ever.
All that and more on the way next. Most of the time, when the police are called to rescue someone from a chimney, it's either like a raccoon or Santa Claus. Most of the time.
Santa doesn't need rescuing.
Yeah, I guess not. But if there's a report of somebody in a chimney, it's usually an animal or Santa. Most of the time.
I doubt it would ever be of Santa, but I feel like I have seen stories of reports of people stuck in chimneys, but usually it's too late.
I've heard about, people that get stuck in chimneys. Yeah. Allie just did the throat slashing gesture.
Yeah, I don't want to laugh at that because that really is not great. But a lot of people, they use chimneys because they think that will help them to, like, if they're locked out of their house or something, they can get in that way. But chimneys narrow and at the bottom. And so even though it looks big at the top, once you get down so far, you're going to get stuck.
I would say, unless you are Santa, do not go in a chimney.
Yes.
Or maybe if you're a chimney sweep like Dick Van Dyke, you can go in a chimney. But other than that, don't. And here's one more story. This is not an animal. This is not Santa. This is a man in Connecticut that had to be rescued from the chimney of a Parks building. It was actually, he was trying to break into the bathroom of a Parks building. Why? He had pure intentions. It was because somehow his dog had got locked in the bathroom. I don't understand. I get I've never had this happen to me, but if you take your dog for a walk at a park, I guess you got to bring your dog into the bathroom with you if you're going to the bathroom. I've never had to do that.
Yeah.
It's a weird scenario for you to even imagine. But what I don't understand is how his dog was in the bathroom. He got out of the bathroom without his dog coming with him, and then the doors automatically locked for the evening, which means the dog was locked in the bathroom until morning time, which is, I don't know. It's been a heat dome, so that dog may not have made it in a bathroom that might not have been air conditioned, but this guy took matters into his own hands, tried to sneak in through the chimney, got stuck, and not only did that result in firefighters having to rescue him, but also the chimney and building had to be partially, like, parts of it had to be removed.
Yep.
Causing up to $10,000 worth of damage. And although the suspect, I love how you still have to call him a suspect, even though, like, there's only one person that tried to get into the chimney. He was arrested, charged with burglary, trespassing, and criminal mischief. Oh, he's so mischievous.
Yeah,
this
so
guy.
mischievous. Well, honestly, it is really dumb on his part because employees were the ones that called police, so they knew that he was stuck. So employees were around.
There was somebody around.
Why not go talk to them and say, hey, my dog is stuck in the bathrooms.
Panicked.
The bathrooms are on an automatic lock. Well, it just makes me think that this person may be shady in general.
Come on. He panicked. And here's a question for me.
If I panic, I'm going to have somebody unlock the door.
Hello.
Chimney.
Why does a Parks bathroom have a chimney?
Yeah,
what kind of fires are you having in there?
That part is very odd, but I think it's the bathrooms were a part of like a larger building from what I read. And so I think maybe he wouldn't have even been able to get into the bathroom.
The chimney has to connect down to a fireplace. And I can't imagine why there'd be a fireplace in the bathroom.
Right.
Like, hey, gang, let's all get together.
I think it would
let's have a fire in the bathroom.
I think it would have allowed him into the larger building, and then maybe he could access the bathrooms from the inside. But it sounds like they have like doors to the bathrooms that are both outdoor doors and then inside doors. I don't know. It's all very confusing, and I do not understand the logic. There is no logic as to why.
Your dog is in danger. You panic. You go into fight or flight mode. This guy flew up to the top of the building. It did not work, but at least the dog is safe. The new American Customer Satisfaction Index survey is out for 2025. Every year, they tell us which restaurants we are most satisfied with as Americans.
They just give us the results.
Yeah, they give us the results.
They don't tell us which one.
You are satisfied with this. Well, it kind of feels that way. And I could just tell you what the most satisfying restaurant is, but that's no fun. I want everybody to guess. And so many people have guessed And Allie, many people have gotten no, or I guess they don't know, but they accurately guessed what the top restaurant is. What would your answer be?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Obviously.
Is number one.
It has to be.
Does it have to be?
It has to be, because I feel like those that love Chick-fil-A really love it, and they're going to be over the top about it, including myself and Nene. We are very much like the big supporters of Chick-fil-A, you big supporter of Popeyes. So like when you love something, you let people know and you want to share that. And so I feel like, it makes sense that people overall would be very satisfied and very willing to share how satisfied they are about it.
This is a ranking that is based off of the prices of the food, the satisfaction with the app, order accuracy, wait times, etc., etc. Chick-fil-A did get number one with a score of 83 out of 100.
And literally everyone that texted in said Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, narrowly beating out all others, which finished at number two.
All others is a restaurant?
Generic, like all the restaurants, I guess, that weren't big enough to be listed on their own.
Oh.
Even though this list is pretty exhaustive. Like number 3, Panda Express. Number 4, every time I've been to Panda Express, and I love Panda Express, but they literally always forget to put something in my order.
Aww.
And I've never had, so I can't put them very high marks.
Yeah.
Starbucks is next, the next individual restaurant. So Chick-fil-A had an 83, Panda and Starbucks both 80. Let me keep going down the list in order until you tell me one that's a red flag for you. Then Arby's, Panera Bread. Sorry, I'll pause. I don't know why people like Panera, and it's not just because I worked there. I worked there, and I didn't like it before I worked there, but it's fine as an employer. I just don't know. It's the food, like it's the product you're getting. I don't know why it excites people.
I have never think about eating at Panera.
Yeah.
So I think I've only eaten there maybe once.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I didn't hate what I got, but I never think about Panera.
Next up, I don't know what number we're at here, but Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Culver's, Domino's, Dunkin', Burger King. That's another red flag. Burger King.
No!
Burger King should be nowhere near the top of this list. Think of all the restaurants that I hadn't just mentioned, and we got to Burger King first.
It's just all the big brands is what it really is. Like the brands that are across the United States.
I think if I was, I think I can't have Chick-fil-A at number one because I don't know what is Chick-fil-A to me best at. What are they best at?
Well, it's chicken. Not sure if you've ever gone there, but it's chicken. It's
they don't
also
have the
sauce.
best chicken. Okay, sauce. You could have it there.
I think sauce is their magic. I do think they're the best at chicken.
Popeyes has better chicken.
I completely disagree.
There's other places that have comparable chicken. Where did I just go that had a comparable chicken? But Chick-fil-A.
Comparable?
And you wait forever.
For fast food?
Yeah.
You do not wait forever for Chick-fil-A.
You wait forever,
These are
Chick-fil-A.
lies. Popeyes is the one that takes forever.
They do too. I never said Popeyes is number one.
Chick-fil-A is the most efficiently run restaurant in all of America.
But because it's so busy, you still wait forever.
No,
and
the line is so long, and yet it keeps moving faster than any other drive-through line.
And so expensive at Chick-fil-A.
It's really not. I mean, if you try and go get a McDonald's meal now, it's going to cost you
McDonald's
like $10. And yet you can go get something from Chick-fil-A for $10, and it's way more food and way better.
I don't hate Chick-fil-A. But
you really do come across as if you do.
Somebody has to be here and say, why do we love it so much?
It's so good.
It's not that different.
It's so good. Just stop. Your bias for Popeyes is showing.
I'm not saying that Popeyes should be number one. I'm just saying Chick-fil-A shouldn't.
What should be number one then?
I don't know. You've got to check out this video of the first ever humanoid jet-powered flying robot. Let me know, 8772 RadioU, if you want to see this thing. We'll send it to you.
Why did they put a face like that on it? It looks so weird.
I think to try to make it look less menacing. This is Italian researchers developed what they call the Iron Cub. And it is they say it's about 3 feet tall, weighs about 49 pounds, and it has the body style. It's humanoid. It looks like a person would. It has arms and legs and a creepy baby head.
Yeah, for some reason it has like a porcelain baby head. Why did they do that?
It's giving Astro Boy.
It's giving like one of Sid's creations in Toy Story.
Yeah, it actually definitely is.
Oh, like they just unattached this head from a baby doll and put it on a robot.
Yeah.
Like, what are they thinking?
Well, I mean, they were trying to think that, if you make a flying humanoid robot and has glowing red eyes, then we would all be justifiably scared and upset and annoyed of why they would do that. But if they give it a baby head, maybe it takes some of the intimidation away, but instead it just
looks creepy.
Creepy, expressionless baby is problematic in other ways.
It also doesn't have a mouth. It's just eyes and like a face. It's so weird. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Well, they did technically, it has a jetpack, and so they did get it to lift off of the ground on its own power, but don't be too intimidated yet because it very, very hardly did anything.
Yeah, it's not like video. Superman flying around there.
No, it's not zipping through the sky. It lifts off of the ground for a few inches off the ground for a few seconds, but that's considered a success.
I mean, yeah, I feel like humanoid robots flying has to start somewhere, right? This is where it's starting, I suppose.
The first baby steps of human-style robots flying. They basically have created, this is the first step towards Ultron.
Oh.
Especially when you think that the robot is controlled by somebody wearing like a VR helmet, and so they're kind of in charge of it in that way. It's really starting to, if they actually can make this thing able to fly in a way that makes sense, where it's actually flying, it could be very scary.
Yeah, I don't know if jet propulsion would work with that, because I feel like jet propulsion can be kind of like woo woo woo.
Yeah.
It's like not exactly that smooth. We'll just say that.
Yeah, but I don't like it. I wish that they didn't do this. Who are you helping when you do this? Besides evil militaries.
Right. I
Some
don't
kind of
know.
James Bond villain.
I don't know what the point of a jet-powered humanoid robot is.
How does a jet-powered flying humanoid robot help me?
Yeah.
The average American.
It just creeps us out, guys.
It doesn't help.
Hudson, this is a really fun in-space update for everybody.
Okay.
It's a mystery.
Ooh, I love mysteries.
I'm going to set it up for you. A little over a year ago, scientists in Australia picked up a brief burst of electromagnetic radiation. The pulse was so strong that it eclipsed all other signals coming from the sky, but its origins were unknown.
Okay.
All right. After digging through the data, the team discovered that the source wasn't a distant celestial object like they initially thought, because sometimes that does happen. It's called FBRs. But rather, this was a zombie satellite that had been left to orbit Earth with no real purpose. It had not been used since 1967, originally put in orbit in January of 1964. This was NASA's Relay 2. That was sending out this signal. It has not been used because its transponder stopped working in 1967 and suddenly was able to send out a signal.
But you said it's orbiting Earth?
It's orbiting Earth.
So it's still close by.
It's still close by. Apparently, the reason they heard this, it was like perfect timing or how this worked out. Perfect timing for it to have power to even send a signal out, which is crazy again because it's like 60 years old. And then also, it was directly over where this, I guess, antenna or whatever the
receiver.
Device, that they were using to listen for celestial. They call these, FRBs, not FBRs, FRBs, which are fast radio bursts, and they usually do come from far off celestial bodies like pulsars and things like that. So it was directly over where they were listening, and they heard it for 30 nanoseconds. The strongest, loudest, again, it blasted over everything else, and it was from Relay 2 from NASA.
So what are the odds that this is some kind of individual that's lost in space, like Matthew McConaughey Interstellar style, just trying to reach out in any way possible to make contact with Earth and let us know he's out there somehow?
Well, a completely unmanned satellite, so very unlikely that there is any people involved.
Could he be lost in space and
using that satellite or something?
He beamed something to the sat. He's like, this is my only hope. It's a long shot, 1,000,000,000 to 1, but I'm going to beam my signal to the satellite and make it go off right at the right time so that it shows off some alarm bells and somebody knows somehow that I'm out here. Murph knows.
Murph knows. Last I checked, every person that has gone up into space has been accounted for some way or another. So we know
even
where they
Katy
are.
Perry.
Yeah.
Well documented. So what's the explanation then?
So they're not really sure. They're trying to figure out exactly why this happened, what caused it. There's a couple theories. So I'll give you those theories and you can tell me what you think it could have been. So the scientists behind this detection, they believe that the satellite may have built up electricity over the years and then suddenly discharged it in a single, powerful burst. Another possibility is that Relay 2 was struck by something that caused kind of a release of plasma that could have caused this. So the researchers are really just speculating because we don't know why it's doing this. But initially, these were put into orbit to kind of get more information on the Van Allen radiation belts.
Okay.
So it is
one
very,
of my favorites.
It is very likely that they could be hit by other objects. But there is Relay 1, Relay 2. Relay 2, again, the transponder stopped working in 1967, so it has not been heard from since then. So this is pretty crazy.
It's got something to say.
Apparently, only for 30 nanoseconds, so it was really quick.
I just hope that whoever that person or alien is that's out there desperately trying to reach us, they don't go unnoticed.
Okay.
That's my hypothesis.
Gotcha.
If they want to record that at NASA. Get ready to say a long farewell. 8772 Radio U. At least we have plenty of warnings so that, I think this would be much more emotional if we found out this news and it just was happening. But Aaron Rodgers, star quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, said on the Pat McAfee show yesterday that his plan is to retire at the end of this season.
Yes.
It's a 1-year deal with the Steelers, and that's it. And he says, what better way to go out than with one of the NFL's top organizations and with Mike Tomlin and the team they've got there. And so his plan is to retire after this season.
All right. Well, yeah, he's going to lay it all out on the field is my thought then. Try and, see what he can do.
Yeah. As an Aaron Rodgers fan, I think that I like this. I like the focus, when you have an end goal in mind and everybody's going to be on the same page. It's not like we're building for the future. It's like Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
And it's going to be Super Bowl. And I also think, as an Aaron Rodgers fan, I know that we make plans. People make plans. But things happen.
Things do happen.
And Aaron Rodgers, he says now, well, I'm going to retire, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be my last year. And yeah, it'd be great to go out on top with a Super Bowl and an MVP. But once he does those things this year, it also may have him thinking well, I just won a Super Bowl and an MVP. Maybe I come back for another year.
I know. I think that's why, Tom Brady came back.
I know. You got to leave the door open.
Right. Definitely. But similar to Tom Brady kind of shut the door where it felt like he wasn't coming back. And then all of a sudden he came back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that this may not be his last season. Because also, if you, have an injury, like what he did a couple seasons ago very early on, you don't want to go out that way.
Yeah.
You want to recover and then come back. So, but yeah, I think for the most part, I do believe him that this probably will be the last season. He's getting up there. And this is a 1-year deal with the Steelers. They're going to see how it goes. He's going to see how it goes. They're, I'm sure, all hoping for the best.
And you know what? I don't think, this isn't to say that I don't think he'll retire after this season, but also there's a lot of players that this is the time of year where you think the most about retiring.
Yeah.
Because this is where you're not playing games and you have to go through all the work to get in shape for the season. And it's like, this is the least reward. The most work for the least reward is this time of year in football. And so there's probably a lot of guys that get a little older and, and they get to the spot in their career.
Done. Yeah.
And this season they're like, this is it. I'm not coming back. But then maybe you get so close, you have a really good season. You're like, I can still do this.
Right.
And then it comes back to the next preseason and you're like,
what am I doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like Darren Waller. What am I even doing?
Why am I here?
Why am I playing fullback? He said. That was ridiculous to me. But you know what? If this is the end for Aaron Rodgers, if this is his last season, it's going to be a beautiful farewell.
Yeah, great career.
And but I'm not going to say for sure that it is the end.
I don't think anyone really can say for sure. I mean,
with Aaron Rodgers,
he's saying it's a maybe. So I mean, I feel like he's being pretty adamant that it is going to be the last one. But again, so was Tom Brady. So you just never know.
You never know. In Canada over the weekend, an amazing sight to see, and I'm glad somebody caught this on video. Apparently, they had a long time to do this. 2 bears fighting in the street of Burnaby, British Columbia. And they say this fight went on for about an hour.
Oh, my.
2 black bears squaring off, unconcerned by the growing crowds and the traffic they were stopping as more and more people happened upon this. And it was it got pretty intense between these 2 bears.
Yeah, from the video that was filmed, it was like definitely a throwdown, Honestly, I'm shocked we're not talking about this with Nikki right now.
I know. I wish Nikki could be a part of this, but I don't know if she likes to see bears in this violent light.
Yeah, she might be like really sad about bears fighting one another.
But there is something about even these vicious bears, going at it. Possibly neither of them died, but possibly trying to fight each other to the death. But because they're bears, it's still kind of cute.
I mean, yeah, they don't fight each other to the death, though. Eventually, it just subsided, and they just wandered back into the woods. So hopefully they're fine. But some of the eyewitnesses said it got pretty intense. They were like ripping each other's fur out. Like it was crazy.
I'm looking at the video, and this is at least as intense as many UFC fights.
Yeah.
It's and it was a marathon, almost an hour long. I also want to know if you were one of the people stopped in traffic for this event. Is that a viable excuse to be late for work? Like, sorry, there was 2 bears fighting in the street.
I mean, if you're blocked, yeah, I would probably just try and turn around, go a different way.
You would leave?
Yes.
I gotta see how this pans out.
Nah.
I didn't mean that you're trapped. I just meant when you see 2 bears fighting in the street, you drop what you're doing.
No.
You watch that fight. You gotta see what happens.
Unless you're close, like you're the couple cars that are the closest to the fight, I feel like there's really no reason to stay. Because what are you going to do? You're going to get out of your car so you can see better?
Yeah.
You're not going to see anything.
You could see it from a nice safe spot in your car and have a real great front row seat for the action.
No, thanks.
8772 Radio U. If you saw 2 bears fighting in the street, are you leaving until that fight is over? Let us know.
Are you staying until that fight is over?
You can't leave until the fight is over.
Are you leaving after the fight is over? You said, are you leaving?
Are you leaving before the fight is over?
Yeah. Are you turning to get away? Because the people are not obviously driving into the bears. So the only way you could get out is by turning around and going a different way or waiting until it's over.
Yeah. I think the average American, when you see bears fighting.
I mean, I've never seen bears fighting other than in
so
this video.
So why would you ever leave until it's
videos.
over?
I mean, I just feel like if you had something to do or somewhere to go, why would you wait?
Because there's bears fighting.
It's not even that cool. It's just bears.
It is that cool.
It's just bears rolling around on the street.
Oh my gosh. Listen to Allie in here. Well, bears fighting, not very cool.
I mean, for an hour, I would not be entertained for an hour by bears fighting.
Maybe not an hour, but I'm not leaving until I've gotten my money's worth.
For how long would that be for you?
You know what would be silly is you'd leave and then you see this on the news and you're like, wow, I turned around because I had to go do work or whatever. Like, come on. What do you have that's more important than watching bears fight?
Literally everything in my life feels more important than that.
Once in a lifetime experience. And you're like, I got papers to file. Do you buy that Elon Musk doesn't have a computer? He does not own his own computer. 8772 Radio U. This is a claim that's actually made in a courtroom situation where Elon Musk going back and forth with OpenAI. And there's a little bit of a dispute about whether somebody's turning over relevant documents, et cetera, et cetera. In this court case, Elon Musk's own lawyers claim that he cannot be that he can't be guilty of whatever the thing is because he doesn't have a computer to do it. Do we buy that Elon Musk, he's the richest man in the world, right?
Yeah.
He's is he? He's up there.
Okay. I was like, is it him or Bezos? I never know.
He's a busy businessman who has made a lot of his money in tech.
Yes.
With X and with Tesla and with SpaceX and blah, blah, blah. And yet,
blah, blah, blah.
He doesn't have a laptop. Do you buy it?
I do not buy it.
And so does this get him is this the nail in the coffin of whatever this OpenAI case is?
I don't know. I think the OpenAI case is just, it sounds like bitter former partners just fighting with one another. Mm-hmm. And they're just going to continue fighting because they want control over the largest used, AI GPT format and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's what they're just going to say a whole bunch of stuff about one another. But yeah, this seems very verifiably not true.
Why would they even say this?
I don't know.
Like who do they think they're going to fool?
Right. Again, I feel like verifiably this is not true. They have plenty of evidence to show that he does have a laptop because he posts pictures of him gaming all the time.
Listen, though, you can never take anything Elon Musk posts seriously. Don't you know that?
I mean, is this going to be when he admits that he actually isn't gaming? It's just somebody gaming for him?
That'd be funny if that is the ultimate outcome of this.
That was the last controversy with Elon, right? That we talked about, where he was like, he wasn't actually playing.
To level him up and unlock stuff for him or whatever. It'd be hilarious if he has to,
now
because of this legal case, admit that he's never played. But like, maybe he doesn't actually own a computer, and every time you see him on it, it's just for a big joke.
A big joke?
Yeah, because he loves to make... I don't know. It's Elon Musk. It doesn't have to be funny.
Okay.
Just because it's not funny doesn't mean it's not a joke to him.
Sure. I will say I've seen a lot of footage of him, and it does seem like he's on his phone a lot. Like he does a lot of work from his phone.
Yeah.
Which I know some people that do that, but it seems like it would be a tad bit limiting with like all the tech stuff he does. You know? I feel like you would need a laptop.
It definitely makes things a lot more efficient for some tasks, and I would imagine that would be particularly true for Elon Musk. And you'd think he'd want to be efficient.
Yeah.
With all the work that he has to do.
Well, and also
trying to cram all that in.
Yeah, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, he is so big now that I'm sure the main part of his job is literally just delegating. Mm-hmm. So maybe he doesn't need a laptop for that.
Dave says maybe he used ChatGPT to generate the pictures of him gaming.
Ooh. Maybe.
I don't know if that helps or hurts or what. I don't even understand the case, actually, to be honest with you.
I don't understand any of what's going on with this. All I know is, again, it's just bitter partners fighting back and forth because they want control of OpenAI.
Even though it's nonprofit, right?
Yeah, but I think they want control of it because they both have different visions for what it will do in the world. So... one of them, I think, wants it to be more philanthropic, like more about the charity stuff, and one just like the Wild West.
Oh,
don't know which side is. I think we know either one.
I think we know who will win then. It's on, boys. Let's get together. Let's get some bottomless apps. Eat until you can't anymore. Where can you do this? Starting on a Friday. You can do it at Buffalo Wild Wings for just $9.99.
Nice.
They are launching bottomless apps, $9.99. You have 5 options where you can get 2 apps at a time. Fried pickles, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, chips and salsa, and chips and queso, hatch queso.
Oh, no cheese curds. Those are the best.
Yes,
Those
I
are the
always
best
order the cheese curds at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, man, that makes me a little sad. But I do love their fried pickles. I do love those.
And I'm sure that the rest of the stuff is fine too. I don't even know if I've ever ordered any of the other
I don't think I've tried any of the other hatch queso. What's that?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good though.
It does, but I'm like, what is that? I didn't even know that was on the menu, Buffalo Wild Wings.
For $9.99 too. Okay. I guess we could look this up, but like just estimate in your mind, how much would an order of mozzarella sticks cost at Buffalo Wild Wings?
I don't know because I've never ordered it before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not usually the type to order too many appetizers. Buffalo Wild Wings was the one place where I would.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't be $9.99, but it wouldn't be $5.99. Like, it's got to be more. It's at least that much, right? For mozzarella sticks.
I'm such a bad person to judge and like say what price it would be. I don't know.
2 orders of mozzarella sticks or onion rings, and all of a sudden you're making money on this deal.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's worth it because especially if you have a group of people going, let's say you go BOGO night and you get bottomless apps.
Do you think they let you do that?
I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go crazy.
I would go nuts.
I wouldn't even have to get very many wings. I just get a few to satisfy that urge that you get when you're at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yep.
But then I'm going ham with the onion rings and hatch queso. I'm going crazy on that.
Yeah, I would be as well with those fried pickles. I'd be like, bring more, please. So, and if you have a group of people with you, you can split up the price on that. Just get one order of it, and you're good to go.
I don't think you can do that.
What?
I don't think you can split bottomless apps.
Well, I mean, you could, Venmo each other if you all wanted to do it together, or you could pay one check.
Yeah, just get it all on one check. Yeah. But yeah, that is the one thing. Like, they are going to definitely, all of a sudden, the servers at Buffalo Wild Wings are going to have to get get ready to get mean.
Yeah.
Because people are going to come in, it's going to be a couple, and one of them orders the bottomless apps, and it's like, wink, wink, I'll share my bottomless apps, and the server's going to have to come over and be like, no, you do not. No sharing in this Buffalo Wild Wings.
No,
because that's how they really lose money.
Well, they already let you share apps, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But if it's bottomless, you can't order one bottomless for the whole table.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Why can't you? They already do that at like Olive Garden.
No, they're not gonna. That's different. It's breadsticks; those are included.
Yeah, but I mean that it's for the whole table. It's bottomless.
You can't get bottomless salad at Olive Garden, right, and pass it around the table. And
yes, you can.
You cannot do that.
Yes, you can.
They are not gonna let you do this at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's like you can't share a buffet.
Yeah,
you can't share bottomless apps.
I just think apps are something that it's generally known that they're going to be shared across the table.
But not when they're bottomless.
Why not?
Because then they would be. You just
how is
you'd
the
bring
waitress?
A group of 6 people.
How is the waitress or the server going to be like keeping tabs on every table?
They're going to start charging you for the other people that are eating them.
There's no way.
They are too. Buffalo Wild Wings.
I don't know about this. Is there any details on if they would do that?
I think it's just known. You can't bring a group of 6 people and order one bottomless apps, and that's the whole meal for everybody.
I mean, I don't think it would be the whole meal. But
well, where do you draw the line?
I just do not think that's how it works.
If they will not, I mean, you can try.
You bought one plate of, let's say you bought one thing of chips and salsa.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they stop you from continually refilling that? You bought the bottomless app. It's not $9.99 per person.
It is.
No, it's not. It doesn't say that. It says bottomless apps for just $9.99.
It's known.
The app itself is $9.99.
Allie's going to go and try to take Buffalo Wild Wings out of business by getting one bottomless app for her and her entire family.
I don't feel like I'm crazy.
Yes, you're crazy.
I just don't. I
wouldn't put it past. I mean, there's plenty of people in the world that would absolutely try to do this. but it's bottomless for one person. One person. If there's 6 of you, you have to get 6 bottomless apps.
Why?
Because you're different
Then
people.
you'd have 6 plates of chips and queso?
If that's what y'all want.
That's dumb.
We are talking about how Buffalo Wild Wings, starting on Friday, everybody mark your calendars. I don't know when this ends, but starting on Friday, they will have bottomless apps where you can choose between 5 different apps, and they'll just keep bringing them to you. $9.99. Allie was saying you can share. You can get one bottomless app for the whole table.
I thought you were saying each app. So let's say chips and salsa, $9.99 for bottomless chips and salsa. I didn't understand that you were saying it's bottomless apps, $9.99 per person or whatever. And they'll be like, all right, pick two, and we'll bring them to your table, and we'll keep refilling those. I thought
That's what bottomless means.
No, I thought you were saying that the order, like mozzarella sticks or fried pickles, that itself is bottomless. Like just the plate of that, they would keep refilling it. Like when you go
What's the difference? Of what
when you go to a Mexican restaurant and they just like have the chips and salsa on the table and they keep refilling it. That's my picture of what you were talking about. So it was like, you're paying for that thing $9.99, and not each person is paying $9.99, and then you get to pick 2 things that they keep bringing.
But this is what I'm trying to explain. I don't know what the difference is.
I think that's a huge difference, because I thought you were saying like it's a menu item that you're just purchasing bottomless this thing. Mozzarella sticks, bottomless mozzarella sticks. You're purchasing
bottomless as a you have the choice of 5. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that's what you were talking about.
And I believe, if I understand it right, like you get 2 at a time.
You kept referring to like buying the buffet.
Yeah.
I was thinking of it buying a menu item, not buying an experience like a buffet. The
menu item is the bottomless app.
Well, but there's a difference between buying something off the menu, like a drink that they're going to keep refilling. That's expected. Versus buying an experience where they're like, all right, this experience is for each person at the table. It's going to be $9.99, like a buffet. And then this is how we do it. We refill it for you. So I was thinking it in a way of like, this is something that you just purchase that item and then they refill it at the table.
The item is the appetizers. I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand why this is...
I don't get how this is confusing. I thought this was not an experience as far as like something where you go up to a buffet and you purchase the buffet. So you can go back to the buffet as many times as you want. I thought you were just purchasing mozzarella sticks, bottomless mozzarella sticks, and they're going to do it. So like you alone are purchasing mozzarella sticks. You know, it's on your bill. So, you know, whoever wants to buy it, just like a regular app, whoever wants to take some can.
But this is what I was trying to explain to you a second ago. You're like, you can share it. And I'm saying, no, every person has to get it. Every person has to order it. You can't just share it.
That's what I didn't understand. That's what I'm trying to say, is I didn't understand that this was buying an experience versus buying a menu item that anyone can share.
I don't understand.
Because if you buy an app, anyone can share it on the table. But this is everybody needs to purchase $9.99.
When it becomes bottomless, which was very clear, that's when you can't share it anymore.
Well, I didn't know that was a rule.
That is a rule. Kenny says even bottomless breadsticks and salad, which we mentioned at Olive Garden, they only let you share with the table if everyone at the table's meal comes with that. You can't, like he says, he went once and one person didn't get a meal that came with that. And they were told that they'd have to pay extra if the person wanted the bottomless breadsticks and salad as well.
Well, someone just texted in, and this is confusing me even further. They're saying Buffalo Wild Wings site says bottomless apps are available for parties of 4 or fewer. For larger parties, the fee is higher. What are they doing? Are they charging each person, or are they just charging you $9.99? I don't get it. I really don't understand.
I mean, everybody seems to be on the same page. Like Regina says, it's not a rule. They have to enforce bottomless apps out to be shared, or they lose money like crazy. And Kenny said the same thing. Any restaurant is going to charge a person.
But this is from the site, from the website of Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, if they definitely are only bringing you 2 at a time,
yes,
right?
But
so if you do have a party of 4, that still could be constraining.
But I just wasn't sure if it was like, so let's say we're all 4 paying, separately, and you are like, I want to do the bottomless app. So now are they only charging you $9.99 or are they charging each person $9.99?
If I do the bottomless apps, it's $9.99 for me.
But are they
But if they see everybody else eating it, they might go ahead
stop
and,
them?
Yeah. Hey, if I'm paying $9.99 for bottomless apps and y'all don't want to order that, y'all can kick rocks. These are my mozzarella sticks.
You're just going to eat all of them.
Yeah. Chime in on our Would You Rather Wednesday question. Today, we're asking, would you rather do a road trip where you could only drive overnight or a road trip where you could only take back roads, just not, interstate highways? 8772 Radio U. We'll start with Logan, who said, ooh, that's a tough one because I like both. I'd have to say road trip overnight as that would give me more time at the destination. That's a good point.
Okay.
The argument in favor of road trip overnight is, there are several good points, like no traffic.
Yeah, less traffic.
And actually that's it.
And
versus driving back roads, not only is it faster because there's no traffic, but it's also going to be faster because you can still use the highway overnight.
Yeah, right. You can still go really fast.
In our scenario, we've concocted
Yes. Heard from Susanna. She says, if it's at night, I'd rather be alone and singing at the top of my lungs to her an amazing night driving playlist. That better have some Radio U music on it, Susanna. She goes, if I'm with other people, no highways and plenty of dilly-dallying and coffee stops along the way. So that being said, she chooses the night alone singing one.
Jeff says, gotta go with night. I couldn't take those back roads and make it twice as long. It really does add up. There's a reason that none of your, the Google Maps never or Waze never takes you on back roads when there's highways available right over there.
Right. Heard from William. He says he gets sleepy real easy. So if I have to leave without going to sleep, then definitely highways, avoiding freeways. If I fall asleep around 6 to 7 p.m. and wake up and leave at 11 p.m. or 12 a.m., then I'll take driving overnight. So he can do kind of both. But I think overnight, it sounds like if you're getting sleepy, I'd be a little bit worried. If you're a normal sleepy driver, to be driving at the time when you're normally
overnight
going to
could
bed.
be dangerous.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Allie? Because I definitely know which one I'm taking.
I'm leaning more towards the back roads because one of my favorite movies is Pixar's Cars. And, it's like the Route 66 and all of that, showing you the kind of the charm of the back roads, road trips. And my family used to do that type of stuff all the time, and I loved it. And also, growing up in Africa, the unspoken rule was never drive after dark because then you couldn't see the elephants on the road.
True.
Because there's like no lights or whatever. So I just overall not a huge fan of driving overnight because I think I would be worried about whatever I'm running into. And I do think the back road experience can be fun.
Yeah, I think we didn't specify this, but if you're the one driving, I definitely am choosing the back roads. If I'm not driving, I might take overnight because, I can just sleep.
You can
what
sleep,
do I care?
yeah.
But the benefits of the back roads to me is, one, if you know before you're going that you have to make this choice, then you can plan your road trip around knowing it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
But also overnight, much more limited on where you can stop, like where you can go to the bathroom, get gas, get food. And part of the fun of a road trip is getting food that you maybe wouldn't ordinarily eat otherwise. And if every place is closed, then the only place
is
open,
gas stations.
Yeah, is the Tim Hortons in Batavia, New York, which I love. But maybe sometimes you want some variety in your road trip.
And also, I do think vision should also play into this. I have an astigmatism, so sometimes the lights can be a lot for me. So I do like avoiding driving at night whenever I can.
And I like driving on back roads and getting to see the local flavor, all the little random small towns. And
the dilly-dallying, as Susanna put it.
Exactly. And the murals that you see and the stops that you could make if you need to stop for food anyways. Maybe you don't stop at a McDonald's or a Culver's. Maybe you do go ahead and stop at some random local place and find some little hidden gems.
Yeah, I think that's such a fun thing, especially in America. There's so many small towns that are everywhere. And they can have so many cool things.
They're dying. They're dwindling away.
Right.
And this is this would be your chance to see them before they go kaput.
Give them some business. Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.